Okay, so I wanted to share a little technique real quick on how to make your clay sculpture really smooth before you fire it. And my friend Alex, who works at a sculpture studio, taught me this trick. And some of you may have already tried it, some of you may have not, so I'm just going to show you. So first thing I'm doing is I'm putting on gloves because my hands are sensitive to steel wool. But steel wool is the secret weapon. So what I have here is an unfired piece. This is a figurative sculpture that I did. You can see you'll see some like little spotting there and stuff. That's just water because I was recently watering my plants. But it has a lot of these little nicks and grooves in it just from the sculpting process. So what you do is you take the steel wool and you just gently buff. And look at all of that. You can see all of that coming off of there. And that is what is going to create this perfectly smooth surface. And just be really gentle and careful when you're doing this. Here's the back of the piece. And I'm just looking for those little nicks and in circular motions and just buffing them out. Because this is not fired yet, this is just dried clay, so you do have to be very careful. And if you're working in an enclosed space like I am, I suggest wearing a mask because these little tiny particles of clay you will breathe them in. So it's best to do this outdoors. But that is just probably one of my favorite little tips and tricks on how to get a really nice and smooth clay sculpture before you fire it. So I will upload another video once it's fired and how it turns out. And as you can see, like this little wet spot there, that's literally just water because I have water here on the table and it got onto the clay. So not the end of the world, but that has nothing to do with the steel wool process. Oh, and one other last tip. You can use an air compressor, or if you don't have an air compressor, just use a brush and you can get some of that clay off if you want to see what surfaces still need to be sanded further. The air compressor machine does work a lot better because you can really get in there and blast all that dust off, whereas me doing it this way, it just kind of moves it around in the air and you end up breathing it in, which you don't want to do. And that's it.